Simon.
Hello.
Hey, Simon.
Hey, Simon. It's Skylar.
Simon?
How you
Hey,
doing?
Simon.
Hello, Simon.
What's up, Simon?
Hello.
How you doing?
Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Simon.
Hello, Simon.
Hello, Simon.
Hi, my name is Simon Brooks, and I am the host of Conversations with Storytellers. As I gallivant about the country, travelling around the USA, making phone calls and gathering more conversations with more traditional storytellers, I did promise some stories over this holiday gap. I hope you enjoy these shorter, story-based episodes, which I will bring to you through December. And you'll get a sneak listen to the new music, which will officially appear on episode 14 or 15 in February of 2020. Can you believe it's almost 2020? Anyway, please enjoy this tale from Pusong Ling's Strange Tales from a Chinese Studio called Girl in Green. These stories, first printed in 1766, well after his death in 1715, are literary. But this tale has everything one would want in a fairy tale. It is an adult story, with some somewhat adult themes, but it is, at least in my mind, a beautiful story. This is my retelling. Girl in Green, a Chinese story, a retelling by me, Simon Brooks, 2019. Long ago, a young man was studying in the Temple of Sweet Springs. Sung was sitting reciting his work out loud, reading from the book open before him. He glanced up and noticed, to his surprise, a girl was outside his window. She smiled. "How diligently young master studies," and then she disappeared. He was wondering what a young girl would be doing so far out in the depths of the mountain. There was not a village around for miles. Such diligence! Sung turned to see her in his room and rose to bow. She was small and graceful, wearing a long green gown and green kipao blouse, and Sung wondered how she had entered his room. "Where did you come from? Where do you live?" He was truly puzzled by her appearance. Her smile seemed shy. "Don't be frightened, I will not bite you." She moved with great elegance to a seat and sat down. "Why bother with all these questions? Tell me about your work." Sung and the mysterious woman talked long into the night. When Sung said he needed to sleep, she nodded and removed her gossamer jacket. Her waist was so slender, Sung could have placed his two hands around her waist, and his fingers would have touched. He touched her shoulders, and she undressed him, and the two melted into the bed, and their lips met. Later, as the last night drum sounded, she arose, dressed, and left, as if she were floating on air. The girl in green returned every night. They would talk, then fall into each other's arms. Sung found her knowledge of plants was boundless, and one night, drinking wine, Sung discovered that she knew a great deal about music. "Your voice is so soft and bewitching. Do you sing?" "I do sing, but my songs are not for you. If you could compose a song for me and sing it, it would melt my heart. For that reason," she said, pressing her mouth to his neck, "I must not sing." But Sung persisted. "I will not come to harm if you sing, surely. Your serving maid would not begrudge you the song. But what if someone else heard? But for you, this once, I will show you my poor skills as a whispered sign of my affection for you." She sang, but her voice was so soft he could barely hear her, and as she sang, her tiny foot tapped lightly on the cane. "No butcher bird must catch me, nor this slave girl's midnight song. No chill night dew can stay me from keeping my lord company." The girl's voice was so melodious and ardent, it reached straight for Sung's heart. He barely breathed as she sang. As soon as she finished, she leapt up and peered around the door. Before returning to the room, she glanced all around. "I must make sure no one else is about and heard the song." She appeared agitated and anxious. Why are you so worried? Sung placed his arm about her. A ghost that steals into the world fears all men, so the saying goes, and this applies to me. You're a ghost? No, silly, it is a saying. And the girl slid beneath the covers, but still seemed restless. But why so worried? I am here. I will protect you. My heart is restless, and I feel I will die soon. I sense danger. Such flutters of the heart are normal. Since I have met you, I have had many. He tried to laugh. Do not jump to conclusions. He lay close to her and held her in his arms. He did not remember falling asleep, but he rubbed his eyes as she arose and dressed. As always, it was almost dawn. The blue in the sky still dark but lightening. Instead of leaving as she normally did, the young woman paced his room. What's wrong? Are you still anxious? Sung climbed from beneath the covers. I don't know why, but I am fearful. Something tells me in my heart. Can you see me out? Of course. Pulling on a robe, he walked to the door and opened it. He looked about and stepped outside. There is no one there. It is safe. Shall I walk with you for a way? To wherever you go when you leave me? The girl in green smiled at her young man. There is no need for that. Just watch until I go over the wall. Then you can go back inside. They kissed. Sung watched as she walked down the path and around a corner. He wondered what she meant by over the wall. He sighed and returned inside. He was about to make some tea when he heard her cry out. He rushed to where her voice had come from, but no one was there. He listened carefully and heard her cry again, but this time it was muffled and came from the eaves above him. Looking carefully, he saw a spider working furiously in its web. The sound was coming from there. He reached up, pulled the web apart, and plucked the spider's meal from the creature. He carefully unwrapped the cocoon of thread with gentle fingers. As the threads came apart, he found a green bee caught there. Sung took the bee back to his room and lowered it to the desk. The bee at first remained so still, he thought the green creature dead, but it began to move. It stood, and after a while longer, the wings began to buzz. It slowly walked to the inkwell, flew up, and dipped its tiny feet into the black liquid. The bee flew to a piece of paper and drew the words, "Thank you." The green insect flew around the young man once before flying out of the window, ending the relationship forever. A retelling of a story by Pu Sung Ling, Strange Tales from a Chinese Studio, 1880. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this. There will be another story coming later this month, so stay tuned. Be healthy and happy. Until next time, find some good stories and send me a note with your favourite.